Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And welcome everyone to Adith Emmanuel on this Shabbat morning, on Shabbat Tetzaveh, where in addition to just celebrating Shabbat, we're also celebrating Olivia Wolff being called to the Torah as a bat mitzvah. We're delighted all of you can be here today. For those of you who don't know, I'm Rabbi Amy Memes-Foller, along with our cantorial leader, Sandy Messenger Aguilar, and our accompanist, Herb Malamet. We're going to assist Olivia in leading the service this morning. And while it might look like we are on a stage and you're the audience, that's not the case at all. We're all one congregation, joining together as a community to celebrate this Shabbat morning. So if you look in the seat in front of you, if you're in the second row or further back, or if you're in the first row in the seat in front of you, you'll find a prayer book. It's that thin blue book. And when Olivia or I announce the pages, just want you to know they will be the page numbers in the brackets. When God was giving Moses the Torah at Mount Sinai, God spoke to Moses and said, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, this is a holy and sacred occasion. And on this holy and sacred occasion, be sure that there is no use of texting or photography or cell phones. Please speak to the Israelites and say to them, turn your cell phones to the off or silent position, even if you thought that you left them in your tent," which I think I did. So Moses spoke to the Israelites and said to them, there will be no photography, texting, or use of cell phones. And so it was. The Israelites checked and double-checked their phones just to be sure they were in the off and silent position to make it a holy and sacred occasion. And so it was. And so we turn now in our Shabbat morning worship. We open in song as we turn to page 128, singing Ma Yafeh Hayom, Ma Yafeh Hayom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom.
We continue on page 287, page 287. At the bottom of the page, we pray responsively. We give thanks to you, O God, for this Shabbat day, which unites us as a community of faith and hope. For the holiness of Shabbat, which can lead us to fulfill the best that is in us, we give thanks. For the memories of Shabbat, enriched by generations of our people who observed it, and from it drew courage to face hardship and light to banish darkness, we are grateful. We offer thanks for the peace of Shabbat, the day consecrated to family love. O God, our turning to you exalts our humanity. You are the joy of our life, the source of its greatness, its power, and its beauty. Help us, O God, to find inspiration for the coming week. Help us to find peace within ourselves and one another. And at this time, I'd like to invite Lisa and Russell to the bima to present Olivia with her talit.
As I wrap myself in the talit, I fulfill the mitzvah of my Creator. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kichan b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hitatef b'tzitzit.
Amen.
May my life be one link in a chain of goodness. As I say the prayers of my ancestors, help me to recall their devotion and faithfulness, their joy and suffering, which are in every word. Holiness is my heritage. May I be worthy of it. May our tradition live in me and pass from me to generations I shall never know, enriched by the truth that I have found and the good deeds I have done. So may I fulfill my task on earth and receive my blessing. And when the service ends and the prayers have ceased, help me to bring their spirit into the world in which I live. May I love God above all and my neighbor as myself, and be a living witness to the truth that never changes.
We continue on page 290 with Matovu.
Ma tovu alecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu alecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Vani mirov chastika
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs into a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life, were one of them to fail, how well we are aware. We would lack the strength to sustain life before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of our health and strength. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei chol basar umafli la'asot. We continue on page 293.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan nesach v'ivina, v'havhin ben yom uven laila.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, bokei ha'ivrim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, rokach haaretz al hamayim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei kaver.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, anoten laya'ef koach.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hama'avir sheina me'einai, utnuma me'af ha'pei.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shasani b'tselem Elohim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, sha'asani bat chorim.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shasani Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael b'gvura.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Israel betifara.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kichan b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu asok b'divrei Torah.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah. Please turn to page 313 and rise for the call to worship. Baruch et Adonai hamivorach. Baruch Adonai hamivorach, hamivorach leolam vaed. Hamivorach, hamivorach leolam vaed. The world is sunlight, restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes, more welcomed than gold, a Torah from heaven. I have no light to give the morning. My Torah, my special human gift, is words. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome them, you who redeems the sun from darkness. Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMe'orot. We read responsively on page 317. O God, inspiration and guide for all, you have spoken in 1,000 tongues for us to hear. In every land and every age, your children have heard you and imagined you in separate ways. And yet, O God, you are one, unifier of humanity.
Give thanks for the sages and teachers who bring us understanding of your will. Gratefully we recall lawgivers and prophets, psalmists and sages of Israel, and joyfully remember that from the dawn of Israel's life, we return to you by my purpose.
May the teachings of our ancestors live on in our minds, and their passion for righteousness stir our hearts. Help us to live so that our daily conduct reveals the beauty and wisdom of your truth. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher ba'amo Yisrael ba'ahava. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. Please turn to page 319. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ולכתך בדרך, ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו בטוטפות בית עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We continue on page 321 as we join together. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, norati lo tosef eleh, norati lo tosef eleh. Shiro kadosha shibichu geulim, ishim kol svatayom, yakal kulam odu, v'imliku ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed.
We rise as we're able for tefillah.
Adonai sefer tifta ufia ki tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Isaac, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zoher Asli Avot V'Imahot, Umevi Gula Lifnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Avraham Ve'ezrat Zorah, Atah Gibor L'Olam Adonai, Mechayeh Hakol Atah Rav Yoshia, Mashib HaRuach U'Morid HaGashem, Mechakel Hayim B'Chesed, Mechayeh Hakol B'Rahabim Rabin, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, U'Matir Asurim, U'Mekayem Emunato V'Shenei Afar, Michamocha gevurot, umito melach, melech memit umechayeh, umatmeach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atal chachayot hakol, baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמם, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וכרז אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מתיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
May be seated as we continue on page 329.
ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת בקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת בקוראי עונג שבת. מקודשי שבי שבת, כולם ישמחו ויצעקו מטובך שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת בקוראי עונג שבת. והשביעי רצית בו וקידשתו שבת. חמדות ימים אותו קראת שבת. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת בקוראי עונג שבת.
As we turn to page 330, it's my pleasure to welcome to the Bima Sarah and Eric Saltzman to lead us in this next prayer.
On this Shabbat day, as you graciously receive our prayers, help us to hear your call. Grant us enough health to fulfill our duties and the compassion we need to attend to others.
Teach us humility that we may perceive our own faults, and grant us the wisdom to be forgiving of others. Grant us the courage to be true to our highest selves and the charity to see the best in those around us.
Give us patience enough not to become discouraged, hope enough to overcome all fears for the future, and faith enough to know your presence. O source of blessing, look with favor upon us. May our offerings be acceptable to you.
As we continue now on page 332, it's my pleasure to welcome to the Bima Rena and Dan Schenkman. As we read this prayer together, the congregation will come in on the refrain that says, Modim anachnu lach, which means, we give you thanks.
For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations. Modim anachnu lach.
For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons.
Modim anachnu lach. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements. Modim anachnu lach.
For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression.
Modim anachnu lach. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared.
Modim anachnu lach. For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom.
Modim anachnu lach. For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose. Modim anachnu lach.
We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds.
Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha lecha na'eh lehodot.
As we continue on page 334.
Im shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Chin v'chesed v'rachamim. Chin v'chesed v'rachamim. V'rachamim. Sim shalom. Tova uvracha. Sim shalom, tova uvracha. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
continue our prayer now silently, whether we are led by the words on the pages of our Siddur through page 337, or reflecting on other prayers throughout the prayer book, or those meditations and thoughts in our hearts.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
We continue now in our prayer service for Seder Kriyat HaTorah, for the order of reading the Torah. And so at this time, I'd like to invite to the Bima Steve and Adam and Zach Mirmina, who are going to help us open the Ark. And soon after we bring the Torah scroll out of the Ark, we're going to participate in the chain of tradition. So I welcome to the Bima at this time Farida and Michael Wolff, Sherry Schusterman, and Lisa Ann Russell as the congregation rises.
כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני בירושלים. כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני בירושלים. ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו, תורה לעמו ישראל. ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו.
So Olivia, this Torah scroll that I'm holding in my arms is a special one. It's just about a year old, not quite. It was written by members of this congregation and who hired a scribe to do the actual writing, but this is the Adith Emmanuel new Torah scroll, written in a size that's good for our students to carry and bring Torah down to the congregation. So we're really grateful to have it. But that's this Torah. But when we think of Torah scroll and the Torah that's been given to us, we think of you standing in this line with the generations that have come before you, those who are here physically and those who are with us now through the gift of memory, and then beyond, all the way back to Moses at Mount Sinai. And so I always think about this moment. Had there been one generation that said, we're not going to teach Torah to our children, to the next generation, then we couldn't be standing here today giving the Torah to you in your arms, which you're not only going to hold physically, but hold figuratively as you take the words therein and help it to guide your life. And so we now invite your grandparents and your parents to share these words.
Whatever has befallen us, our people have remained steadfast in loyalty to the Torah. It was carried in the arms of parents that their children might not be deprived of their birthright.
And now we pray that you, Olivia, may always be worthy of this inheritance. Take its teachings into your heart and in turn pass it on to your children, those who come after you. May you be a faithful Jew, searching for wisdom and truth, working for justice and peace.
Shema
Our Torah portion for this Shabbat is Titzaveh, and it comes from the book of Exodus, chapter 27 and verse 20 and following is where Olivia will be reading from this morning. If you would like to follow along, you can find there are some Torah commentaries, the Chumash, in the seats in front of you. And if you'd like to follow along, you can follow along on page 618. Page 618. We call for the first Aliyah for Rita Wolff and Michael Wolff. Nala Amod, Freda Bat Siman Tov Vesar Rivka, Livarech al Hat, V'Mikael ben Ruven Shlomo V'Tes Livarech al HaTorah, Aliyah Rishonah.
Baruch et Adonai HaMavarach. Baruch Adonai HaMavarach Le'olam Ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam Asher B'Karbanu B'Chol Ha'amim Netan Matan Atet Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen. Va'ata tizaveh et b'nei Yisrael v'yikru elecha shemen zach parti ma'or v'ha'alot ner tamid ve'ohel moed michutz aparochet Asher al ha'edu ya'aruch oto aharon uvanav me'eret ad boker lifnei Adonai chukat olam ledovrotam me'et b'nei Yisrael atah hakrev Elecha Aharon Achicha Abnav Ito Mitoch B'nei Yisrael Chahanoi Aharon Nadav Avihu Elazar Itamar B'nei Aharon.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chai olam natav v'tikenu Baruch atah Adonai notein haTorah.
Amen.
Yes.
For the second Aliyah, we call Sherry Schusterman to the bima. Nala Amod, Shena Ruchel Bat Abraham, Ufegel, Livarech al HaTorah, Aliyah Shniya.
Baruch et Adonai HaBarach.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Ha'olam Asher B'Charbanu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Va'asita b'dei Kodesh Aharon Achicha v'chavod u'tivaret Ata tidaber el kohach melev Asher yativ ruach chochma V'asu et b'dei Aharon v'kadesho v'chahanoi Ve'ele habegadim asher ya'asu choshen ve'efod u'm'il u'chtonet tashbeit mitznefet ve'avnei ve'asu b'dei kodesh Aharon achicha
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
And we call for the third Aliyah, Alan Schusterman, Dasi Schusterman, Stephanie Mirmina. Na la'amod, Abraham ben Yosef v'Shena Ruchel, Hadas bat Gedalia v'Yafa, Sarah Rivka bat Mikel, Ufreda levarech al HaTorah, Aliyah Shlishit.
Baruch hu et Adonai havarach.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai havarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. V'hem yiku et hazahav et hatechelet et argaman et hola'at hashani et hashesh asu et ha'efod zahav techelet argaman tolat shani Shesh Moshar Maaseh Choshev Shetei Yitefo Chovro Yellow El Shnei Yitotav V'chubar
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. For the fourth Aliyah, we call Lisa and Russell to the bima. Na la'amod, Devorah Nachuma bat Yosef v'Shena Ruchel v'Ruven Shlomo ben Mikel Ufreda levarech al HaTorah Aliyah Revi'it.
Baruch hu et Adonai havarach.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai havarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. V'cheishev afudatov asher alav ma'asechu mimenu yeh zahav techelet v'argaman v'tola'at shani v'shesh moshzar v'lakachta et shetei avnei shoham ufitachta aleichem shemot b'nei Yisrael Shisha mishmotam al ha'evan ha'echat et shemot ha'shisha hanotavim al ha'evan ha'shenit kitorotam.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Just a second. So excited. That's great. I love your energy. So for our fifth Aliyah, we call our bat mitzvah, Olivia Wolff. Na la'amod, Aviva Sarah bat Ruven Shlomo Udevora Nachuma, Habat Mitzvah.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Ma'aseh Charash Even Hituchei Chotam Tifatach Eshetei Avanim Al Shemot B'nei Yisrael Musabot Mishpatot Zahav Ta'aseh Otam Esanta Eshetei Avanim Al Kifot Ha'efod Avnei Zikaron Livnei Yisrael V'nasa Ahavot Eshemotam Livnei Adonai Al Shetei Yisrael Zikaron Asita Mishpatzot Zahav. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Simen tovu, mazel tovu, simen tovu, simen tovu, mazel tovu, simen tovu, mazel tovu, simen tovu, Yeilanu, 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 Uleko Yisrael, Yeilanu, Yeilanu, Uleko Yisrael, simen tovu, mazel tovu, simen tovu, simen tovu, mazel tovu, simen tovu, simen tovu, mazel tovu, simen tovu, Yeilanu.
We turn our thoughts and prayers now to those who are in need of healing. And so we turn in our Siddur to page 371, page 371 in the middle of the page. And if you're thinking of someone who is in need of healing, after I share with you these names of the extended Adith Emmanuel family, whom we're thinking of who are in need of healing, whether it's a healing of body or mind or spirit, I'll ask you to rise and share those names after we send blessings of healing to Holly Willett, Micah Arano, Jeremy Solar, Mel Klein, Jonathan Burr, George Goldstein, Susan Casper, Barry Hodges, Harriet Eisner, Orly Boudet, Carla Teich, Beth Shelley, Elaine Moskowitz, Linda Drachman, Chaim Ben David, Eileen Davison, Craig Davison, Hugh Morton, Art Bond, Roberta Levine, Jordan Maverick Steinberg, Deanna Amariello, Lisa Galda, Brian Zabel, Ed Crosby, Myra Kaplan, Jeff Schaefer, Lula Rivuela, Marion Gwirtz, Aaron Tepper, Lily Tepper, Louis Alahut, Mary Parker, Tricia Tepper, Carol Schaefer, Mary Mednitsky, Jocelyn Jackson, Jen Jones, Shirley Friedlander, Michael Infanti, Gary Garnick, Ann Marsden, Rick Ulrich, Ileana Cohn, and especially close to the hearts of the Wolff family right now, we pray for blessings of healing for Mark Schusterman, Judy Schusterman, Gary Weinstein, Sarah Kaufman, Jean Zivitz. And I invite you to add other names aloud or in your hearts. And if you want to share aloud, you can rise in your place as my hand passes through the congregation. Please feel free to add those names aloud.
Samira Rina.
Baruch Atah Adonai, Rofei HaCholim.
Mi shebeirach avoteinu mikol habracha limotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi shebeirach imotenu mikol habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
At this time, I'd like to call to the Bima Leah and Jonah Schusterman as the congregation rises as you are able, as we lift and dress Torah.
וזאת התורה אשר שמושה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. אילך עמדה ליבי ושנה וענתי תעלה.
We turn now to that part of our service we call the Haftarah reading, which comes from the middle section of the Tanakh, the Nevi'im, our prophetic section of our Jewish Bible, and Olivia is going to give us a little introduction before she heads into her Haftarah.
Shabbat Shalom. My Haftarah portion is from the book of Ezekiel. It is about Ezekiel sharing his vision of the future temple in Jerusalem and God's instructions of having an animal sacrifice for 7 days to purify the altar. My Torah portion relates to my Haftarah portion because both include God giving lots of detailed instructions to the Jewish people about building the temple. My Torah portion talks about the eternal light and priestly clothing, and my Haftarah portion about animal sacrifice. To follow my Haftarah portion, Please turn to page 720 in the Torah commentary book. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nbi'im tovim v'ratza b'divreihem hane'emarim b'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah Moshe Avdo, Yisrael Amo, Uvinviei Ha'emet V'Tzedek. V'lakachta et hafar hachata, Usrafo v'mivkad habayit michut Hamikdash. Uvayom hasheni takriv zeir izim tamim lechatat v'hiteu et hamizbeach ka'asher hiteu ba'apar v'chalotecha mechatei takriv har ben bakar yamim Ve'ayu min hatzon tamim V'hikrav tam livnei Adonai V'hishlihu hakohanim alehem melach V'he'elu otam Olah l'Adonai Shiv'at yamim Ta'aseh se'ir chatat layom ufar ben bakar ve'ayom min hatzon tamimim ya'asu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam zor kol ha'olamim tzadik b'chol hadorot Ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer ve'oseh, hamdaber m'kayim, she'kol devarav, emet v'tzedek. Al ha'torah, v'al ha'avodah, v'al hanvi'im, v'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, shenatata lanu, Adonai Eloheinu, likdusha v'limnucha, v'chavod. Ultifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach umvarchim otach yibarach shimcha b'fi kol chai tamid le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Shabbat Shalom. Out of the 5 books of the Torah, my Torah portion is from the book of Exodus and from the parashah of Tetzaveh. My portion takes place after the Jews have escaped Egypt and have wandered in the desert for a long time. It is about the Jews just making it onto the foot of Mount Sinai and Moses then talking to God about his commands. Here, God gives Moses instructions specifically for my part of the portion, lighting the Ner Tamid, or lamps, every night. He gives Moses very detailed instructions on the special clothing Aaron, the one who will become chief priest, will wear. Things like a sash, French tunic, robe, breastpiece, headdress, and a garment called an ephod. There's also a part about the engraving of lazuli stones with the names of the sons of Israel along them, with more very detailed instructions. While my portion talks about a number of different ideas, I would like to focus on the Ner Tamid. The Ner Tamid is the lamp that is lit every night above the ark in the synagogue. There are lots of different interpretations about the Ner Tamid. There's even a debate if the Ner Tamid is talking about one lamp or multiple lamps. Traditionally, the Ner Tamid uses olive oil to be lit. To get the olive oil, you need to beat the olives. Some rabbis think that the beating of the olives represents the oppression of the Jewish people throughout history, such as in the Holocaust, the oppression of the Jewish people in enslavement in Egypt, the Spanish Inquisition, and other times. Another interpretation of the Ner Tamid is that Israel acts as the eternal light of the Jewish people, and that God needs to bring justice, hope, and peace into the world. And for Jews, this light is Israel. There is also an interpretation that I don't exactly agree with, which is that the Jews need to be like olive oil, which is not mixed well with other liquids, and we need to separate from the rest of our peers to keep our religion, culture, and language. I do not agree with this because I think that being around people that aren't exactly like us can really help with educating us about other religions and cultures from around the world, and we shouldn't shut out all those opportunities. The interpretation that speaks to me is the one that says doing a mitzvah, or a good deed, is the lamp of the eternal light, and the teaching is the light. Doing a mitzvah is an ethical and ritual commandment that is part of our religious duty. This relates to present-day times because in a world where everyone is always fighting, it's important to do mitzvot. Whether it's supporting the homeless or sick, feeding the hungry, or just supporting and caring for a friend. Every mitzvah that you do is another light brightening our world and helping to create more love, kindness, generosity, hope, and peace into our world. That mitzvot are part of our responsibility as Jews has a lot of meaning to me because it's important to make the world a better place by helping each other, and this idea has come from generations before us and is being passed down to the generations to come. Last month, I contributed to this by doing my own mitzvah project. For my mitzvah project, I decided to make dessert packages and sell them to raise money for the Burlington County Animal Shelter. I've always loved animals and have also found a passion for baking. So I found a way to incorporate both into my project. The Burlington County Animal Shelter alone, it's around 5,000 new animals each year, but across the U.S., approximately 6.1 million animals are brought into animal shelters each year that need a home. These animals can end up in the animal shelters for many different reasons, including being strays, owners not having the time, landlords not allowing them, costs, and more. The Burlington County Animal Shelter helps with disease prevention, giving animals food, water, medical care, and hopefully a forever home. In the end, I ended up raising $940. I've found that when experiencing something great happening in your life, you always have to remember to give back to those less fortunate or to a good organization or cause. I'm so grateful that I was able to raise so much money for such a good cause and was also fortunate enough to meet some of the workers and animals at the shelter. I've been going to Hebrew school ever since I was 7 years old, and for the past 8 months, I've been studying really hard for my bat mitzvah. This process has been nerve-wracking, overwhelming, and exciting, but I'm happy that this day has finally arrived. I'd like to thank Cantor Sandy for being my tutor and always being very helpful. I'd like to thank Rabbi Memes Fuller for her guidance. I'd like to thank Larry Marcus for his help with BMA practice, Herb for helping with the music, and to all my past Hebrew school teachers that have helped me get to this point. I'd like to give a thank you to my little sister Juliana for always making me laugh, and of course to my parents for always being there for me and supporting me throughout my entire life. And finally, I'd like to give a thank you to all my friends and family, those who are here with us today and those who are not. I always feel like I'm surrounded by love. Shabbat Shalom.
So Olivia, now you can take another deep breath. And I'm hoping you're feeling proud of these accomplishments that you've led, the way you've led our congregation in Shabbat worship this morning. I want to thank you for your lesson. And in case you couldn't hear Olivia, her voice might not carry the same way as mine does. I thought you taught a great lesson using the Ner Tamid, the eternal light, which we now have in our sanctuaries in this way, but you gave different interpretations of the light. And the one that you liked the best was the way light is like a mitzvah, and doing mitzvot, and sending your light and your good deeds and work into the world. I mean, we know that mitzvah also means commandment, so it's not the good deeds which we like to do, but we're obligated to do. And this is part of what we do as you become a Jewish adult. We're not going to give you the keys to the car tomorrow, but you're becoming more responsible in the things that you do. So you taught a great lesson about the light, and there's another part of the Torah portion that talks about clothing, the clothing that Aaron and his sons, the Kohanim, were supposed to wear, and it was really detailed, all the different colored yarns and the stones and the gold that would go into it. And it reminds me of a folk tale about a man by the name of Ben Azariah. So Ben Azariah was born to a poor family. His mother and father didn't have a lot, yet they were kind and generous people. And upon Ben Azariah's birth, people gave gifts for the baby. And one of the gifts that they gave was this beautiful material. It was the finest cloth that you can find at the time. And Ben Azariah's mother said, I'm going to put this away, and when you're old enough, I'm going to make you the finest robe. And so, as it turned out, Ben Azariah grew, and he grew older, and as his personality came to be, he was this smart, sweet, kind young man. And as his mother saw that he was growing toward an adult size, she started working on that robe for him. And it just so happened that one day the richest man in town was having a feast, and he invited everyone to come. Ben Azariah, who was, raised with a modest family, all his other clothes were not so beautiful. He wore some clothes that were maybe tattered a bit and not so elegant. So Ben Azariah walks into this fancy feast, and he looks around. Not a single person greeted him. Not a single person welcomed him to sit at the table. Not a single person invited him to have some food. And he felt, as you can imagine, sad, despondent, rejected, and he left. And he went home, and he told his parents about it, and his mother said, wait, I've been working on this robe from the material that you were given when you were born, and I'm really almost done. If you wait 5 minutes, I'll finish it up. And sure enough, she finished it. It was this gorgeous, attractive robe. She put it on Ben Azariah. It fit perfectly, and she said, there, you are fit to be a prince. Go back to the party. And so Ben Azariah did. And when he walked in to the room, that richest man, the host, he saw Ben Azariah walk into the room. He said, come here, young man, have a seat next to me in this place of honor. Please have some food. And so what did Ben Azariah do? He took off his robe and he held it up and he said, eat, robe, eat. Eat, robe, eat. And everybody's looking strange at him. What are you doing? And he said, and he turned to the host and he said, I came to this party twice, actually. The first time I came, I wasn't wearing anything fancy. Nobody said hello. Nobody invited me to the table. Nobody invited me to have any food to eat. And now that I've come in this fancy robe, you see me, you invite me, and you offer food to me. So it's not me that you want at this party. It's my clothing. And with that, Ben Azariah put his robe back on, and he left, and he went home. And the rich man felt ashamed because he knew Ben Azariah was right. And that's where the story ends. But I'd like the story
to end a little bit differently. I would like the host to get up from his chair and go after Ben Azariah and say, "You are right. I was wrong." We should judge people not by the clothes that they wear, but by the people we are inside. And so I think this story, this Torah portion, teaches us all a lesson. Yes, there are times that clothes are important. Think of people who play on a team, like a soccer team. You want to make sure you're passing the ball to the right color jersey, right? You might not be able to see all the way down the field. Or when we dress up for more honored occasions, such as coming to the synagogue for Shabbat or to celebrate B'nai Mitzvah. Yes, clothes can be important, but we have to remember, as beautiful as we are on the outside, what's important is on the inside. And Olivia, I think you are that type of person. And those people who know you it doesn't matter so much what you're wearing. It's the person you are inside. And you are a kind, giving, smart person. I love to watch you with your sister and how you care for her and watch over her. And that's just, one only needs to look at you to see that part of your personality and the way you are with your parents. And I've got to see a little bit with some of your extended family and your friends who are here to support you as well. This is what our Torah portion teaches us, and this is who you are, and this is who we all can aspire to be. We can all aspire to be Olivia and the best parts of your personality. And so I'm going to invite you now to come back onto the bima, and I'm going to ask the following people to come onto the bima to offer a Shechianu prayer. So we're going to invite Marchi Skier and Casey Corcoran, and Julia, if you want to come up to the bima? No, she's consistent. It's okay. Come on up. You can stay right here.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, for keeping us alive, for taking care of us, and for allowing us to reach this special occasion of Olivia's bat mitzvah.
Amen. You can stay right here while I invite your parents to come up and share these words of blessing.
Olivia, we are so proud of you. You are smart, creative, and thoughtful. You have always possessed a surprising maturity, but you also melt our hearts with your incredible kindness and generosity.
As your parents, we have so much to celebrate about who you've become. And of course, as you join the community of Jewish adults, we still have many wishes for you for the future. Our blessings to you are:
may you continue to have a generous spirit, even when the world feels unkind.
may you find the paths that fulfill you.
May you see injustices as opportunities for action.
May you always see yourself as worthy of kindness and surround yourself with people who treat you with love.
May you find communities who value you and support you.
May you always know that you are not alone in this world.
May you always have an open heart.
And always know that we love you and will always love you.
So we continue now on page 374. Page 374 in our Siddur as we return the Torah to the Ark. So I've had the privilege of hosting a couple of your relatives, Olivia, this Shabbat, and so it's my pleasure to call my colleagues and actually friend from university, Rabbi Ricky Kozowski, and your cousin, Rabbi David Seidenberg, to the Bima as we offer this blessing to you, to your Bat Mitzvah day. Olivia, may God bless you and keep you.
Olivia, may God shine her light upon you and grant you graciousness always.
May Yah lift God's face towards you, and may Yah create a world of peace for you.
As we remain standing, we turn in our Siddurim to page 586 at the bottom for Aleinu.
Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוסף בראשית, שלא עשנו כגוי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כעם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
As we turn our thoughts now to those who are no longer with us, we turn in our Siddur to pages 598 and 599. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who've died during this period of Shiva and Shloshim. We're thinking of Sandra Ruth Goldberg Rosenberg, mother of Neil Rosenberg, Warren Brand, brother-in-law of Chuck Gross, Arlene Coulter, sister of Marcy Gittler, Shirley Tannenbaum, beloved congregant, mother of Amy Bookbinder and David Tannenbaum, as well as those who've died at this season in years past, whose yahrzeits we mark on this Shabbat: David Albin, Jack Alpert, Diane Barrar, Mildred Cohen, Paul Fetterman, Eugene Fetterman, Leah Glogauer-Wentz, Lillian Goldsmith, Ruth Greifer, Bernard Gross, Ida Isidore, Lillian Kaplan, Beatrice Lichter, Bertha Novak, Ruth Rudolph, Joseph Samost, Leonard Schur, Judith Schulzen, Samuel Slaughterhoff, Shirley Trackman, Bernard Waters, Irene Weiss, Albert Wolfson, and those especially close to the hearts of the Wolff family. We're thinking at this time of Joel Schusterman, Ronnie Seidenberg, Rich Seidenberg, Doug Wolff, Jerry Schusterman, Ed Kessler, Jennifer Bickel. And if there are other names of loved ones lost whose names we should add at this time, as my hand passes through the congregation, I invite you to share those names at this time. Zichronam Livracha. May their memories be for blessing as we continue now with the words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma Divrach Hirutei V'yamlich Malchutei B'chayei Chon Uvyomei Uvchayei Dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala V'izman Kariv V'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mevarach Le'olam Olmei Almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechamata da'amiran di'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, amen. May be seated. Now, Olivia, I'm going to invite you to come back over as I want to share with you that you're receiving some gifts on this special day, but they're not coming from me, and I'm not going to present them to you. These gifts are being presented to you by one of our board members who happens to know you. So, Joe Horowitz, please come to the bima to present these gifts to Olivia.
All right. Well, what a great job today. You did absolutely just amazing. How you feeling? Feeling good? Yeah. You all right? Your anxiety level up here, because now I'm up here now, and you don't know where it's going to go next? Yep. Exactly. Well, you have a really good way of putting me in my place, so in all fairness, I'm going to go easy on myself up here with you, okay? All right. And I must say, the rabbi was talking earlier about how clothes are important. I must say, you look absolutely beautiful today. Thank you. So I think you made the right choice skipping over one of the other dresses that was part of the option. All right, so we've gotten to know you just a little bit over the last couple years since you emigrated down here from Cambridge all the way to beautiful Morristown, and it's been such a wonderful couple years getting to know you. Our families have been COVID distancing buddies. We've shared our love interest of Cool Ranch Doritos and rolling sushi. And you are so creative and smart, kind, caring, charming, and such an intellectual young woman. It's someone to really admire. And we can't say how proud we are of you, all of us here, not just as the congregation. You're a role model for our girls, and they really look up to you, and that's not just a tall joke either. I admire you too. And when I grow up, I want to learn to be just like you too.
Good idea.
It is a good idea. See, it just keeps me on my place. So, last week you were hoping for an extra week. You glad it's over? Almost? Do it again next week? Okay. So the rabbi gave it away a little bit, but we have some gifts for you here. They are on the behalf of the congregation of Adith Emmanuel, the Adith Men's Club, and this sisterhood. And so we drew straws at a recent board meeting, and I picked the shortest straw. And by pick the shortest straw, I interrupted the meeting quite a bit and said that I really wanted to be up here. And I learned the difficult lesson and the words, "You're out of order," and what that means, and wait for that agenda item to come up. So let's get along to the gifts. You ready? You ready to open gifts, first of many that you're going to receive today?
Sure.
All right. So what we have here is we have the 5 books of Moses. So as you read them today, you can continue to read them. I received one of these books for my bar mitzvah, and I can still tell you exactly where it is and how special it is to me. I hope it's just as important to you as you continue to learn. There's also going to be a couple candlesticks in here because we are looking forward to keeping that light shining and welcoming many Shabbats together. And what would Shabbat be without the Horowitzes coming over and without wine? So there is also a Kiddush cup in here, and there will be a complimentary non-Manischewitz Concord grape to come along with it as well for the Wolffs, just in case you're wondering. There's also going to be a gift certificate in here. Well, all right, I'm jumping ahead. There is a gift certificate for $250 to go with Adith to Israel on one of their congregational trips. I hear there might be a layover in Portugal, just in your honor. What do you think? All right. Also, we hope that you'll continue to participate in FD and make some lifelong friends. I know that I have from my Jewish youth. And most importantly, there is a certificate in here to commemorate this wonderful day that hopefully you will frame it, hang it on your wall of becoming a bat mitzvah. So hopefully the rest of the gifts that will be coming will be in very large denominations. Maybe that's why we were putting out pens last night when we were setting up. What do you think? That's the reason? Don't answer. But there is one more gift that I know that you wanted. Do you think I can share it with everyone? Sure. You look a little nervous. So you're going to know what it is. You've been asking for it for quite a while. So we're going to see if we can make it happen as a whole congregation. You wanted a hora that was as long as your cousin Leah's. Where's cousin Leah? We've been hearing a lot about her. And I believe it needs to be at least 37 minutes. So hopefully we can make that happen for you. Are you going to spend the whole 37 minutes on the chair, or are you going to spread out? You're going to share?
Yeah, I'll shoot.
Okay.
My parents can do it. That's fine.
So again, I just want to tell you how proud we are of your accomplishment today. We're so eager to see what you accomplish next and celebrate all your achievements along the way. We wish you all the joy in the world, no matter how long the hora is or isn't. Mazel tov.
So we're going to go in the next part of the service.
So for our closing song this morning, you've chosen
Tree of life.
The tree of life. And so, are we having people follow along on that on page 374? And I'm going to invite your parents to come on up to the bima. And if Juliana wants to come, she is always welcome when their family is up here.
It is the tree of life to them that'll pass to it, and all its supporters are happy. It is the tree of life to them that'll pass to it, and all its supporters are happy. Shalom, 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 shalom. It is the tree of life to them that pass to it, and all the supporters are happy. It is the tree of life to them that pass to it, and all the supporters are happy. Shalom, 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 shalom.
And we come over for Kiddush and Motzi. Baruch atah
Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Achaim.
Just a quick announcement before we do Motzi. For those of you who are here with the Wolff family to celebrate, you can go ahead into our lobby and into the social hall when directed. For those of you who are here not for that occasion, for Shabbat, there will be an extended Kiddush in the library, and that's just down the hall to the right. Baruch atah
Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, b'tei avon, and Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
How are you feeling, parents?
Good.